Accessing.
When TV and radio collide.
Love it.
Wow. This is what you get. You're listening to JJ and Alex.
Don't touch that dial.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5 KSL Sports Zone. Alex, Kirry, Jeremiah, Jensen, thanks for being with us. We are at the warehouse here in Salt Lake City, 1825 South, 300 West. Amazing deals here at the warehouse as they shut down for good in the next few weeks. So take advantage while the inventory is still here on the showroom floor. You come in, and they're just going to make crazy deals with you. That's the deal. So 1825 South, 300 West. Let's kick off the program as we always do with the cut. We're going to jump in here. We're expecting a conversation with André Tourigny, the head coach of the Utah Mammoth, coming up here. So let's just kick things off here and get the cut out of the way before we get Coach on here with us, and let's do it.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Doug Smith brings you this portion of the program. Doug Smith, of course, in American Fork and in Spanish Fork and in Linden, all the best brands of vehicles, including now the Mitsubishi that is in the fold of the Doug Smith brand of dealerships. Nobody knows cars like Doug. Mammoth Fall in Toronto last night. It was 2-2 at the end of the second period, and I was like, okay, they got this thing. When they got the goal, when they got their second goal to bring it back, I thought, all right, 2-2. You got the third period in front of you. I blinked and it was 5-2, and I was like, oh. And it was a weird set of events. And the team was getting a little chippy, and I was kind of glad because it was getting a little nasty on the ice there, and I just felt like, this team was playing really, really hard, and there was some stuff out of their control. I'm never going to go as far as to say that the refs on the ice took it away from them or anything. But, there were some moments where they couldn't review a couple of calls, and it was kind of a bummer. But, yeah, 5-3 they end up with that thing. And you had a nice appearance. Vitek Vanacek, who was between the pipes for the Mammoth. I know you got to get your starting goalkeeper some rest every once in a while, especially on back-to-backs on the road, especially after being in overtime the night before, especially after the performance. And it's just hard to ask this team to keep going into these road barns, especially on a back-to-back, especially after an overtime, to try to pull a victory out. But, man, they were right there with this team. And Toronto's one of those measuring sticks in the league, JJ.
And you know what? In my opinion, they measured up pretty well.
Yeah.
To be able to have a game in doubt against one of the best teams in the league in their barn, like you said, I have no problem with the way they played last night. I'm not down on it. You look at the standings, they're still 18 points. They're still tied for the second most points in the Western Conference. Colorado's the only one that has more than them. And Montreal in the East. Other than that, there's only two teams in the league that have more points still than Utah. And they've dropped 3 of their last 4 games. So they're doing just fine. And we'll talk to André Tourigny here shortly. I'm sure he'll agree with that sentiment. I don't come away with that game against Toronto feeling like, oh, man, this team, there's none of that. You would have liked to have gotten the win. I mean, to start as well as they did, to get the first goal, to lead after the first period, felt pretty good. But, and to be tied going into the third felt pretty good. Truth is, Toronto's loaded, man.
Yeah.
I know they lost some guys in the offseason free agency or whatever, but they still got.
How much did they pay for Matthews?
They still got Austin Matthews.
How much did they pay for Matthews?
I
think he's 8.5. No,
John Tavares
he's like
well paid as well.
Oh yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah,
that's fun. It was also interesting. Matisse Michelli scored a goal last night.
I was like, I saw.
Now we're longtime hockey fans, where we've got former Utah hockey players scoring against us.
Right. Yeah.
But no, good for him to get that goal in, and what a great landing spot for him to be with a great team like Toronto. But last night you got to see Austin Matthews, who, when you argue about who are the best hockey players in the league, he's in the conversation, top 5 in the world, right? So that's the caliber of team you were playing last night on the road in their place, and I think you fared pretty well.
Yeah, and I also think that, this is a team that has still everything in front of them, and every night after night, the younger lines, I was having this conversation with, because who's been a little bit, that Cooley line hasn't been hitting as well, right? And you start to look and you kind of, and they haven't been converting on the power plays either. Yeah. That's the other thing is and it wasn't that Toronto was killing the power plays, it was just, they're getting Dylan Gunther to his spots. he's taking those shots from that right ring, or that left side of the ice there, in that and he likes to live in that space. And he had moments, and he had some nice saves, and he had some spots too where the defense kind of gets to him. And anyway, I don't look at what was happening with this team last night as a total negative, but they gave up those 3 goals so quickly. It felt like in that third period, and it got out of hand fast, and then you kind of go, these dudes are. It's a lot to go out on the road and to keep going night after night. And to keep being asked to win these games. We knew this was going to be a tough stretch because they only came home for 1 game. They come home, they play the Lightning for one.
Schedule, man.
It just has been brutal. At the same time, I think it was Buffalo the night before. Buffalo has had one road game. Like, they've had 1 or 2 road games so far. And, so this thing will pay off, I think, toward the end of the season. And the good news is this: the health is kind of there, right? You've got a mostly healthy group. Last year at this time, what are we talking about? Injuries that were already, taking their toll, and you've got a couple of names that are off, but the replacements this year are different. You have a better situation this year with the people who are able to fill in. You don't have a lack of defenders right now. How about the first point of his career for Simachev last night on that assist? And those are the type of names that you go, and those are the type of nights where you say, hey, you need these types of nights. You need to have these guys to be able to have, to be able to convert on multiple levels, not just like it's not to just come out and have one nice night. It's to be able to log games against teams like Toronto, to be able to have decent nights against these guys. But right now, long road trip, and so this team is fighting. I like it. Like you said, everything's still in front of them. That 7-game win streak kind of got them into a spot where they're able to, not give games away, but what they're able to do is not feel so much like every game is desperation. And so you don't want to lose, because in their division, by the way, it's just brutal, because out of the 6 teams that have as many points or more than they do in the league, 3 of them are in this division. You know what I mean? So this is a tough division. You have to be there. You have to assume that teams like Colorado and Vegas and Dallas are going to be right there, and are going to be and are have more talent on the roster than you do. The question is what are you going to be able to do to convert those, get those points, send teams to overtime to be able to steal a point away even on the road, that type of stuff, to be able to get this team going from a points perspective.
So I'm thinking about this, and it brought something to my mind. I want to throw it out to you. Before the season started, Bill Armstrong was on our show, and he says we're not top 10 yet. How are we at a point now where we're a month into the season? So technically, we are at game 14, which is not quite a fourth of the season, but we're getting there, and they're at 18 points. What tier do we put the Utah Mammoth in right now in the league? What tier are you comfortable putting them in? I think that's a really good question to think about right now based on what we've seen so far in the league.
I still feel like right now they are a wild card type team, in the West especially, in this division especially. Like, sneaking in as a wild card in the West is tough to do. I mean, look at last year, right? I don't know what the points are going to end up adding up to this year, but if they can get to that, like, what have we been talking about? Like, what are you aiming for? You're aiming for 100 points, right? If you get to 100 points, you're in the playoffs, likely even above that wild card spot. But at least you're getting yourself to the point. And 100 points right now, I don't know if they're a 100-point team. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
I don't know if they are yet. It just feels like, and it's not that they're playing poorly. They're playing better hockey than they played last year, certainly. And they were a very, very solid team. When you think about where you have to be points-wise in the West, it's very different. It's very different than this is a tough division. It's not just a tough division. It's a tough conference, and they play against some of the most brutal competition. And then there are nights like last night where you're on the road and you're playing some of the best competition in the East. So you see what they're being put up against, and it's a night-on-night basis. These guys are growing up right before our eyes. And it's been awesome to watch so far. Joining us on the program right now, as he does every week, he's the head coach of the Utah Mammoth. André Tourigny joining us on the program. Coach, thanks for joining us on the program. It's been it was a tough game last night, but your guys are playing tough. What were your thoughts after the overtime win at Buffalo and then the loss last night at Toronto?
Yeah, thanks for having me, boys. I think it's two different stories. I think in Buffalo we played really well. We should have closed this game before the overtime. I think we had several scoring chances. We played really good. I think it was a good step in the right direction. We're really happy about that. By far the game we produced more offense since the start of the season. Unfortunately, like I said, we could not score, but we generate all the opportunities. So big game. We got the 2 point last night. It was 2 games in 2 nights. It was tougher for us to execute. That's professional sports. One night you execute really well, you create good offense, and the following night, for whatever reason, the puck was not our friends, and we had a tough time to execute. I think the effort was there, the intention of the guys were there, but we had really tough time to connect on our play offensively and generate offense.
Going back to the Buffalo game, what a thrilling win that was. And anytime you guys go to overtime and get the win, it's fun. But you guys haven't had an overtime loss this year. It feels like if you get the game to overtime that you guys are going to win it. How much confidence is your team building right now in those situations? Because it's phenomenal to see how clutch Clayton Keller is and Dylan Gunther and others in that overtime period.
Yeah, I think that is something we focus on this year during the off season to kind of to improve our 3-on-3, 4-on-4, and making sure we're capable of going to get those extra points. It's important because if you want to make it, if you want to make the playoff, you need those extra points at the end of the season. Point here and there make the difference. So far the guys are doing a really good job. We put a lot of time in our 3-on-3, our 4-on-4, our shootout, our 6-on-5, 5-on-6. So hopefully that will keep paying off.
You still stay on the road, of course. The swing through Canada takes you to Montreal, then to Ottawa. As you look at the games that you have in front of you, and you look at what your guys are doing, how do you keep their spirits to the spot? I mean, obviously, professional sports, like you say, and we talk about these guys. This is their job. You don't have to teach them how to be up for these games, but how do you keep them on that same track of, hey, let's keep this thing going. Let's take the positives from those games, and let's keep this thing going on the road.
First of all, today was a day off after a back-to-back game. It's really draining. It's not just physically; it's mentally. To keep for 24 hours your level of focus, preparation, tactic, and strategy, and all of it at the peak, it's pretty demanding. So today was a day off. Give a chance to everybody to reload and to regroup. Tomorrow we'll do a game review. We'll have a good practice, good pace here in Toronto, and then we'll fly to Montreal tomorrow after the practice. So that will be good tomorrow to have a good day of practice. Those are few and apart in the tough schedule, so that will be good. Let's have a chance to have a time together as a team.
It's been fun to watch Dmitry Simashev and his development. Just 20 years old. He's such a big presence. It's easy to forget how young he is. But to be doing what he's doing in this rookie campaign, to get his first NHL point last night, what can you share with fans about his development and where you see him right now in that development?
I think what we like a lot about him, obviously on top of all his quality as a player, is he is really professional. His professionalism is really good. He's focused. He has intention every day. He's consistent in his preparation and his effort. Everyday practice game. He's not a guy who's going up and down. I have a good day, a bad day, a good day, a bad day. So that is that for a young player. Often it's tough to get that consistency, and Sima is already pretty consistent. You can see he played pro the last 2 years in Russia, so he already have a little bit more of a pro approach and pro behavior every day. So that is really good. But as a player, he can skate, he can move the puck. He has a big body, big long stick. So he helps us a lot right now.
Coach, when you get back to Quebec, do you get to like jam at all with some of your people when you go back home a little bit, or is it like, no, I got to get to these games? How does it work with you? Like, I mean, you go back to the old digs a little bit, and I know you grew up sort of in that area, but do you get to connect with people while you're there?
Yeah, sometimes, most of the time. This time will be a little bit tougher. Like I said, we'll arrive tomorrow night, and we play the very next day, and we play a back-to-back. We'll play in Ottawa right away Sunday. So won't see much of my friends, but I will see my family, my sisters, my kids will be at the game. So we'll see my close network, if you want, my close group. But I don't have a lot of time to see everybody, and it's a business trip. As much as I would like to spend time with them, I don't have that looks.
How much fun is it to go to Montreal and play in that barn? There's so much history there, and you grew up in it, and I can't imagine what it's like for a boy from Quebec to be able to be in those situations. For those of us who haven't been there and have felt what it's like to play in there, what's it like?
Yeah, that's it's funny because you grew up in Quebec, so you don't really realize. You think, okay, that's the hockey. That's the way it is. It's cool, but that's the way it is. And then you start coaching the NHL, and you go everywhere else, and you realize, okay, that's a place that's really special. That's not like it's not like that everywhere. There's really a unique place, and the passion of the fans, and they do such a great job on the entertainment in the building, and the fan love their team so much. It makes it special. So there's no doubt about it. But I don't think we have anything to be ashamed of in Utah. I think our fans as well are really enthusiastic, and they show a lot of love for the player, the team, and everything. So we're part of that select group, that elite group who has really good atmosphere and really good fans.
I don't think we've ever asked you this since you've been coming on the show. What was your favorite club growing up? Was it with the Montreal Canadiens? And how important were those young
Quebec
days?
Nordic.
Oh, that's so cool, Coach.
Yeah.
So what was it like when they moved?
That was terrible, especially when they won. But you know what? That was pretty cool because when they left, Joe Sakic was obviously their best player, and Adam Foote was playing for them. And a couple of years later, when I make my debut as a coach in the NHL, Joe Sakic was the president and the GM of the Colorado Avalanche, and that's my first job. So I had my debut with my team who I was cheering for when I was young. So that was cool. But cool. That was the Nordic was my team, and was before the era of Joe was the Stastny brother and Michel Goulet and the Dale Hunter and all of those guys.
Yeah, and we got to see last week the old Nordique jerseys on the Colorado guys playing against the old Whalers. I thought, man, that's some old school stuff from when I was a kid.
The Whale?
Oh, the Whale. Watching the Whalers versus the Nordiques, I thought, man, that's a whole different era. But here we are.
There you go.
Exactly. Coach, we appreciate you coming on as you do every week, and stay safe out there on the road. We're looking forward to you guys coming back to Utah after a couple more up there in the great land up north.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one. Thanks for having me.
There you go.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet, Coach, as usual. There you go. Coach André Tourigny on the program here with us.
Oh, man, that's the history I love. We never talked to him about.
No, I guess maybe because we dismiss the Quebec Nordiques as being, because they moved.
It's forgotten.
Yeah.
It's been 30 years now.
Not for a kid who grew up.
He hasn't. Guys, he has not forgotten. What was, I didn't get a chance to ask him another follow-up. What was it like being a Nordiques fan when so many people there? I mean, the Canadians.
Oh, yeah. They take over.
Quebec, they're the Yankees. The Nordiques were in the shadow of the Canadians.
Oh, for sure.
Because the Canadians won so many cups. I don't think the Nordiques ever won anything.
Yeah, and I don't think it would be crazy to think that it's almost like that. I don't know. What would the comparison be? It would be like the
Giants and the Jets.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. Like team
The
that,
Giants have multiple Super Bowls.
Yeah.
They're the better franchise.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Next week, I challenge you to say
Dodgers
hey,
Angels. Dodgers Angels feels like
There you go.
A better
like
comparison.
right there. But no one cared about the Angels.
Nobody cares about the Angels.
But even the Angels won some titles. Jets fans.
One.
Yeah, Rally Monkey. Everybody remembers that time frame. Come on, man. All right. It's nice a coach to dip in with us because I think it's really cool to be able to kind of get that weekly vibe as to where this team is. But you got to just kind of, every you can't just win off or go off of every goal and every win and every loss kind of, up and down in that sense. And so watching this team go on the road, and they've got 2 more before they have to get back, and they get a couple more at home. But, man, it just seems like they haven't been in their own barn, like, at all. It'll be –
No, we haven't had a chance to see many games.
Right, it'll be 11 out of the last 13 games that they would have played on the road by the time it's all said and done here.
And to still be at the top of the standings, as you look at it right now, and to your point earlier, we started talking about the tiers thing, and it's easy. Oh, wow, they got 18 points so far. They're on pace for almost 100 points, so they're close to that. But you start breaking it down and you look closely, and you look at if the playoffs started today, and they're only 2 points ahead of Edmonton, who would be on the outside looking in right now. If the playoffs started today,
I love it.
The Oilers with 16 points would miss the playoffs. Does that there's no margin for error in the NHL. The parity is so great. Are the Oilers going to miss the playoffs? Of course not. But there's some really good teams that are on the wrong end there. The Oilers, the Predators are at 14 points. Vancouver, Minnesota. St. Louis eventually has got to get back on track, right? Those are teams on the outside looking in right now. So Utah is in a great spot, but one slip up, and all of a sudden you find yourselves below that line, and it's going to be tough to get back up there.
My goodness. We'll take a break here. We'll come back. We got more to go around the corner. Let's talk Texas Tech BYU next with one of the beat writers for Texas Tech. Stay here, 97.5 KSL Sports Zone.
It's another battle for the Aggies, and the KSL Sports Zone has it covered. The Aggies return home to Logan for a battle against the Nevada Wolfpack. Your home for all the play-by-play coverage of Aggie football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're locked on to JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Who's calling?
Who's talking to me right now? I love it. It's our producer Alex Napolis' birthday. Everybody wish him a happy B-Day. But he just got done with his long diatribe of how we have to do our jobs. And I said, "Who is this?" He goes, "It's Alex Napolis." Napolis here. I said, "I know." He got it. Annapolis, a job we wouldn't be able to do it without you, buddy. So
Annapolis, I'm sorry you have to put up with us each and every day.
I guess
just
you guys
when we're
can
on the
make fun of me a little bit for my birthday. It's fine.
It's good. It's good. And when we're not in the studio,
you have to babysit the clown show that
listen,
we are.
When we're not in the studio, it's even harder. Like, because we're out here, nobody's wrangling us.
There's no adult in the room.
So yeah, Napolis has to get on the headset and try to wrangle us that way, and it's just impossible. I apologize, but happy birthday to Alex Napolis, our producer. Everybody, throw him a shout out. We're starting to GoFundMe to get him going, so you can head out to. I don't know. Where do you want to go? You want to go to Fat Cats for your birthday, Napolis? What do you want to do?
Fat Cats would be nice.
Do they still have those around, by the way?
Cosmic bowling at
Fat Cats.
Yeah, there's one in Bluffdale, dude.
All right, fine. All right.
Let's go roll the rock.
All right, here's what we got, by the way. You can nominate the U Sports volunteer that you know for the Hercules Hero of the Week program. The way you do it is you just go to KSLSports.com/contest. Nominate that awesome person who is helping kids be better, not just athletes, but enjoy the game and also to be great sportsmen. And this week's winner is Jessica Thorne, who was nominated by Ashley Van Osdal. Jessica deserves to win the Hercules Hero of the Week because she stepped in when nobody else would volunteer. We've seen that before, right? We need coaches. So Jessica steps up. She's very good with all the boys. She teaches them all the different positions and is very patient, but she's also very tough. She's the winner this week of our Hercules Hero of the Week program. Jessica Thorne, congratulations. And Ashley, thank you for your nomination. Jessica gets a prize from Beehive Meals, $200 to Beehive Meals, and then also a $100 gift card from the folks at Hercules First Federal Credit Union, all a small token of our appreciation for you being the Hercules Hero of the Week.
The creamy chicken is in the mail.
You made it sound like you made it and sent it. Some professionals
I prepared the meal.
Yeah.
To save you time and money.
Yeah, professionals did it, okay?
Yeah.
So congrats.
Not
there
me.
you go. Joining us on the program right now, Jarret Johnson on the show here with us. He covers the Texas Tech Red Raiders for Inside the Red Raiders. Jarret, thanks for being on the program. Thanks for welcoming the Cougars to Lubbock this weekend, too, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yeah, it's been an amazing week, and I just want to say happy birthday, Alex. That's awesome.
There you go.
Y'all mentioned the GoFundMe. I just really want to tip the cap to BYU fans out there. And
isn't that an awesome story? I loved hearing this story.
It is a great story. It is, so many things are beyond sports. Look, sports are important. It's what we're going to ultimately talk about. I get it, but this kind of thing is just so neat. And for those who don't know, Ivan Ortiz is the team barber who comes to the facility once a week. He's been the barber to a lot of Tech players for a while now. And his wife was in a car accident. She was actually struck by a drunk driver. And, And so a lot of the people, in and around the program asked, to Venmo him some money. And but then it took on a life of its own, and BYU fans chipped in. And last I saw, it was over $150,000.
Wow!
And yeah. And for those who don't know, I mean, those hospital bills, they rack up, and a lot of barbers and hairstylists, they don't necessarily. I don't know his specific, situation, but they don't have a lot of insurance, necessarily, like from like a state job or whatever. So what a great story this is, and I just want to tell BYU fans out there that Texas Tech fans are going to welcome you with open arms, and we're really excited, everybody out here in Lubbock, for a great football game Saturday.
Yeah, we were actually talking about this story before. I was watching the video on this thing, and it was just touching because, well, on the one hand too, knowing this community and knowing how fans show up in moments like this is the stuff where you go, this is why we do it, right? And so I think it's great because it's totally Utah is one of the most charitable states in the entire country, and people love to be able to chip in when they can, and so. It's the kind of stuff too that I think establishes like conference relationships. It's the kind of stuff that you want going forward. And like Kalani Sitake and Joey McGuire, they know each other. They see each other at a lot of these coaching events. There's not a week that goes by that people don't praise, Kalani Sitake. And Kalani did the same thing for Joey McGuire this week because they have a lot of mutual respect. And it's not just because these programs are good, but dang, they're good this year. I mean, this is this is the clash of the Titans right now in the conference. When you saw the rankings come out, did you feel like that they were about right for the college football playoff rankings this first round? Did you feel like it was maybe a little too high for BYU, a little too low for Texas Tech, or what did you think when you saw the first round come out?
No, I wouldn't say it's too high for BYU. I mean, they're undefeated.
Yeah.
That's, to me, I'm an end result kind of person. They're undefeated. They should be, if anything, I want to say this right, I think they should be rated higher. If you're undefeated and playing big boy football, I don't care as much as I guess maybe the committee does, that they're closer scores, or the fact that BYU has had to come from behind in several of these recent games. They've won. They've beaten Utah. I saw what Utah's about. I saw some of the other games, the way that BYU was able to come back. Again, end result, I think they probably should have been higher. Texas Tech, we'll see after this week. They did have that one loss to Arizona State. I'm not big on excuses. I think Arizona State deserved that win in a lot of ways. It is true that the backup quarterback was making his first regular season start, and they lost a close one against the defending champs. I think we need to say that. But, no, I think it's about right. They're both in the mix. I think both schools and fan bases would probably be happy just getting in the tournament, as we call it, the playoffs, and go into battle and get into the fight and see what they could do. But if anything, with BYU, again, I think they should probably be higher.
BYU has a great tradition and a great history, but they've never played in a game between two top 10 teams. This is a first for BYU. And because of that, you could make an argument that this is the biggest game, most important game in BYU football history. How important is this game in the whole, as far as history goes, and importance for Texas Tech?
Yeah, first off, that was shocking to me because, I associate BYU with a lot of success and things. I can't believe that's the fact, but
right.
That's a cool note. That's a great question. Most people will tell you, and this is kind of where I'm at. It's the biggest game since 2008 when Tech played UT here, and last time game day was here and all that. But my senior writer is a man named Joe Yeager. He's been covering Texas Tech sports for 21 years. He's a Lubbock native, been following Texas Tech since the 70s, and he said earlier this week it's the biggest game since 1976 when Tech played SMU for the Southwest Conference Championship in Lubbock. So
wow.
There you go, almost 50 years.
When you see this type of a matchup and you see BYU kind of being the newcomer to the league, just being their third year in the conference. And last year they had a breakout year, and then they've been able to follow it up with similar success this year. Are you surprised with what they've been able to do just in the past two seasons after only being in the conference for the last three?
Folks who know me, before I say this, know that I try and speak what I believe to be the truth. But no, I'm not surprised. BYU was the school I was the most excited about. I felt like it was the biggest brand that's been added in terms of national brand. And I know I've been told how passionate the fans are. And then, honestly, BYU and Texas Tech, when you look at their basketball teams are both in the top 10 as well. I mean, a lot of people really care about these two schools, these two athletic programs. They've invested heavily in these programs. So really, BYU and Texas Tech remind me a lot of each other. And even the matchup, on the field Saturday, the two teams kind of remind me of each other. Though maybe they've spent the money in different ways, they both have made, significant investments, put that money apparently in the right people's hands, and now you're seeing the success for both programs. And no, I'm not excited that BYU is having the success it is, given all that.
We've already seen Texas Tech up close because Utah played them earlier in the year, and we were just blown away at how dominant Texas Tech was on the line of scrimmage, how aggressive they are defensively, all the weapons they have offensively. It just looked like a complete team. So I was a little shocked that Arizona State got them, despite the fact that Arizona State was fairly healthy at that moment and were the defending champs. What did Arizona State do that allowed them to beat Texas Tech? What was the key to that victory for Arizona State?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked me that because I want to make sure and give Arizona State the credit that they deserve. They were the more excited team to play that day, which was shocking to me. That was that has not been a problem with this team before or since. It was a big wake-up call. It's one of the reasons I'm not as nervous about all the attention this game and that Tech's getting right now, because that wake-up call occurred on the road in Tempe. In that, Tech was physical, but they got out-physicaled for the only time I've seen. And I think it's because Arizona State was so jacked up and, like I said, the more excited team. I think they were very aggressive in blitzing off the edges. I think they made quarterback Will Hammond have some indecision at the line of scrimmage pre-snap and also in his RPO game. I don't anticipate that being a problem for Baron Morton, a senior who's been in so many big games, both at home and on the road. But also, Levitt did a great job of extending plays. And Jordan Tyson, their star receiver, both those guys were heroes on those days. Levitt took some big hits and still was able to deliver the ball accurately and downfield. And Arizona State just really, took advantage of like every little part or aspect they could that Texas Tech gave them. Even when Tech took a lead late with I think like 2 minutes left, they were able to march the ball down the field against Tech's vaunted defense and deservedly so, because of some of those plays. So, I mean, Arizona State definitely deserved, that victory, but also I think Texas Tech received a huge wake-up call on that day.
What do you see with this BYU team coming into Lubbock, and what are some of the things that make Tech fans maybe a little bit nervous about this Cougar team who comes in?
Physicality. This is a team that I've been nervous about really since the season kicked off. When I looked at the schedule, looked at Texas Tech, y'all mentioned the dominance, in the trenches. I was worried about Utah, but after that, it was like, well, dang, I thought that was going to be, them and BYU would be the two most physical teams. Everybody talks about Utah's number one offensive line, and quite honestly, if you watch the game, it really wasn't a problem or even a contest against Tech's defensive front. But I looked at BYU, was watching some of their games, as much as I could, and I was like, they have the size and physicality to match up. And this might be the only team in the Big 12 who I could really see that on both sides of the ball. So that's a problem. Bear, too. I'm honestly excited to see him in person Saturday. A freshman with that kind of physicality, I'm not comparing him to like having that talent level, but in terms of like the style of Tim Tebow, the straight ahead between the tackles running, but still being able to come up with big plays in the passing game off of that when teams really, sell out to stop the running game. LJ's a good running back. He was committed to Tech back in the day. I talked to him, really cool young man. I haven't talked to him in a couple of years, but I, interviewed him several times in the recruiting process. Really cool dude from the same area that I grew up in. So a lot of similarities in terms of like things and people and coaches we know. So if, assuming he's going to play, which it looks like he will, that's a problem for Texas Tech. And then both these teams are fourth quarter teams because of their physicality. They just, chop it at the tree, just beat teams up. And finally, even prideful teams just kind of, I don't want to say give up, but kind of they start diving at feet and stuff. You know what I mean? They start maybe, running around blocks a little bit. So it's going to be interesting to see if, and maybe neither team will, but which team gives first in that fourth quarter battle, because these are the two best fourth quarter teams in the Big 12 to me.
Well, this is going to be an interesting one. By the way, the GoFundMe now for I think I'm looking at it right now is $157,000. Somebody put in a $25,000 donation today. By the way.
Just incredible.
It's phenomenal to watch people. And it's just going to keep growing. Like half of the news stories here in the state of Utah, or all the news websites have it up, and people, they know, and then they respond again. And so it's awesome to see this stuff come together, and we're really excited to see how this game works out, too. It's something cool that the fan bases come together on, too, and people do realize, just like you said, sports are important, but this is the part of sports that we love, is people coming together like this. Jarret Johnson covers Texas Tech football for Inside the Red Raiders. Jarret, thanks for coming on, man. We'll definitely have to have you on again. We appreciate you being a part of the program, man.
Hey, anytime. I really appreciate y'all having me on.
There you go, Jarret Johnson,
thanks,
everybody.
Good info.
It's really cool, man. You think about what that Texas Tech program is doing. They're doing what I think that everybody in this conference needs to follow. BYU's doing it to an extent. You're seeing the big programs going, we're not going to be left behind with the new world of college football. You know what I mean? And Texas Tech is leading out on the football side of things, really on a lot of the sports, right? Cody Campbell's on with DJ and PK today. And it's one thing to have awesome investors. It's another to have the whole fan base go, okay, look, this is our chance here.
They're doing it in all sports. They're doing it in softball.
They're going to give $1 million
They've got
to a softball player.
seven-figure softball
Love
pitcher at
and,
Texas Tech.
And guess what? When those teams respond, then the big conferences that previously had a chokehold on all the good players all the time now have to look over their shoulders and go, we're not getting all the best players. It just has been, places like Texas Tech,
the Alabamas and the Georgias, and they're nervous.
They should be. They should be. And I hope that they underestimate the Big 12 and teams like Texas Tech and BYU and Utah going forward, because they'll get them. It's happened before. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We got more to go. We're here at the warehouse. We're going to have Clayton on in about 5 minutes here. He's going to give us some more deals going on here. So stay here. 97.5 VKSL Sports Zone.
Let's go! Complete game coverage of the Cougars is right here on the KSL Sports Zone. It doesn't get much bigger than this. BYU and Texas Tech. Your home for the best coverage of Cougar football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're locked on to JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Thanks for being with us on the program. We're here at the warehouse, 1825 South, 300 West, right here in Salt Lake City. We're going to chat with Clayton here momentarily. Clayton's got the headset on. He's ready. Now, I have a top 10 here, though, for you, JJ. You ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so today I got when I got on I saw like a weird list and I said this will be perfect for our top 10. And I was it's a little bit weird. Now you recall a few years ago we went to Knoxville. I don't think you were on that trip, but we went out to see Tennessee and BYU.
I've been out there, but I wasn't on the BYU
trip. I went
out there for Utah State game.
Neyland Stadium is
unbelievable.
Phenomenal. The week that we went there, when BYU showed up, it just so happened to be, ironically, the first week of alcohol sales at the stadium.
Oh.
Do you remember this? So,
yeah.
so all these stadiums around that time, 18, 19, they were all deciding, like, their legislatures were deciding, you know what, I think we can, you know what, it's fine. Let's start selling beer to some college kids at the stadium. You know what I mean? Wow. Like, we don't need to have them.
Sounds smart.
I know. And I just was like, this is wild. Now, I have some numbers in front of me for this year, 2025, the top 10 stadiums for beer sales in college football.
Okay.
So
I just have to name the school, right? I don't have to know the name of the stadium.
You don't have to know the name of the stadium. Bonus points if you know the name of the stadium. It's really not even about the stadium. It's more about you got to make your assumptions on fan bases.
Yeah,
right?
I'm pretty sure I know all these are.
Yeah. So, okay. So I've got to make sure that I'm trying to. I had the list here in front of me. I don't know what just happened with it. Okay, hold on. Give me the full top 10 here. Jeez, where did it just go? Come on now. Let's go. Tell me an error occurred. I don't know. Okay, I've got the list in front of me now. Here we go.
Right.
On your mark. Get set. Go.
Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Florida, Florida State.
Ding.
Miami, South Carolina, Clemson, Ohio State.
Ding.
Michigan.
Ding.
Illinois.
Ding.
Wisconsin.
Indiana.
Ding.
Wisconsin.
Ding for Alex Napolis.
Minnesota. Iowa.
Ding. What'd you
Hawkeyes,
say?
Iowa.
Ding. We're up to 9. You see one more?
Northwestern?
Come on, those guys are too studious.
Oh man, who's left in the Iowa State? Kansas State, Oklahoma, Texas. Oh man,
you're missing one big one.
One big
lush state in the Big Ten.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's Ohio. We've already done Ohio State, Pennsylvania. Which state am I missing? Missouri.
They're depressed all the time.
Ohio, Cleveland. We're not Detroit. Michigan State.
No. Oh.
We got all the lush states.
I know
Which
you
lush
did.
state did we miss?
This is very middle of the country. Very middle of the
They're all middle. Nebraska? They're very nice at Nebraska.
They are. They're all super nice.
So
but
Nebraska's
on the list.
Really?
Nebraska's in the top 10. Now, part of it is because
I forgot Nebraska was in the Big Ten.
And that 95.
That's how irrelevant Nebraska is now.
95,000 people in Memorial Stadium obviously helps you, right?
That helps.
The number one. Now, here's the real. And here's the thing. I don't know if it actually it coordinates with the wins and losses right now, but Wisconsin this year is already at $3 million in beer sales.
Oh
That's
my gosh.
$1.5 million more than the next closest.
Oh my gosh,
that is a depressed fan base, right? Am I wrong? Now I've been to Camp Randall too.
They love their beer in Wisconsin.
No, you know how the Camp Randall setup is.
Yeah.
The stadium's right there,
right?
And Greek Row is they're not even a block away.
Right.
They are on top of the stadium, like it is, and those people are wasted before the game starts. Now they've started selling the booze there. Then there you go.
Does it mean I'm a bad person because I made the assumption that they were all in the South?
I went all SEC. I was like, I see where he's going here.
I really got to steer somewhere else because this is coming up.
No, they're more into their cheeseburgers than they are the booze, I guess. So.
Me too.
The mascots, the Brewers.
I know. Look, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Makes sense.
It's right there. We'll take the break here. Riley Nelson, BYU quarterback, going to join us next here on the program. And Riley's going to give us his estimation on what this team looks like now as an undefeated and how they can stay undefeated going down to Texas Tech. Stay here with us, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.